Hey guys, Jay4gamers1 here, and I'm letting you know that I've had a recent thing happening. I'm in public speaking classes for FTCC. Recently I had a persuasion type of speaking to have to prove something to somebody, you know, get them on their side of how things work. So my topic was that video games does not cause violence. It's been a common thing that's happened today. It's been shown throughout the media that, you know, video games cause violence and all this stuff and how bad it is and everything. Even the teacher herself was like, I think video games do cause violence because of all this, that, and the other. So I took it upon myself to prove to her and everybody else that it wasn't right. So I took the time, I made the PowerPoint, I presented it, and when it was all said and done, she looked at me and said, "You convinced me, sir. You convinced me." So I just like, it's like, and I was in school so I couldn't do much, but in my mind I was just like, what? Get at me! So with that said, here is my presentation because people wanted to see it and see how it went down, and I didn't, you know, I'm not really particularly fond of like, you know, wanting to brag about, oh, this happened, but it was just kind of something awesomely insightful to see that my little words actually persuaded somebody to think that something that people thought was so wrong actually wasn't really the case. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed. Here's for all the people that requested it. This is my presentation and speech on video games does not cause violence.
Alright, let's welcome Jay Field.
Good evening everyone, I'm Jay, and we're going to discuss a topic that's been really touching between a lot of people in this entire, you can say the entire world, because this has been a big fight ever since the beginning. Now I'm putting some stuff out. I'm a video gamer myself, and I do play games like this. I also play more like this. Even this. I even play games like this. Violent and everything, right? In the same play, I still play games like this. Yet I'm the violent one here. Because I stump on a turtle shell, I'm the most violent person in the world, right? That's not the case. Video games do not cause violence. That's what people fail to see. They automatically think just because something is happening in the game, that we're going to actually redo it in real life. We're not all that gullible or useful. I think everybody has common sense when they play video games. And this all started still right back when Mortal Kombat came out for the first time. When violent video games were starting to hit the media market, and everybody was like, oh, this is going to be the most violent thing in the world. Kids are going to reenact this. They're going to do this. It's going to make all our kids want to go in schools and shoot up little kindergartners for no apparent reason. That's not the case. Just because I play a small little portable device does not make me a violent person. Just because I take the time out to play a little game does not cause me to be a violent person. According to Henry Jenkins from PBS talking about the video game revolution, the myths of video games, it is usually stated as video games make people violent, when scientific research has actually shown that it doesn't make kids violent. Yeah, it makes cause maybe a little aggression when they lose at a little match, you know, they're playing their friend does some awesome thing that they can't do, and they're like, man, I want to try again. I'm mad at this.
but it doesn't actually make that kid want to go, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm going to find some knife and go shake somebody because he wouldn't let me win. You don't see that in a kid today. Half the time, kid doesn't even think about that. Why would he worry about himself over something that small? Video games is just a simple way of us to take that time to sit down and relieve that stress that we've had built up on the day. Had a hard time at work, had somebody that was stressing you out over something, had the boss telling you to do 50 laps around the area when you can't even do it, you're not seeing your job recommendation. Video games is right there just to relax everybody, but also is more of a common sense thing. It can't just drive anybody to be in violence. Also, according to John Walker, in the study defining video game violence, he's also found a study that video games actually reduce violence. Wait, this can't be possible. Violent video games should be driving everybody to violence. It should be making them want to kill people. No, it actually reduces it. It actually takes the time to reduce the violence in everybody. Because think about it. You're over there at home playing a violent video game like Grand Theft Auto, probably killing a police officer, you know, shooting up somebody randomly in the house and everything. But you're not outside actually doing it. You're in the comfort of your home. Stuff that you know you can get away with at home that you know you can't go out in the world and really do. I'd like somebody to go see how to try to kill a cop and get away with it. You'll be on the 5 o'clock news. We'll see you. We'll see you there. Violent video games doesn't show that you're going to be all aggression. I'm going to be so angry with myself. I'm going to hit something. It's just to relieve stress and time. Everybody usually blames how the media works and put video game in that media area, saying it's the entire media fault, but they put it all on video games, not the entire media itself. They call media video games, and a lot of places do it too. Even PETA was one of the examples. They were calling Mario the most violent game in the world because he wears a raccoon suit that he gets from a leaf, and they say he skins raccoons alive. This is an actual story too. You can look it up. Just go on Google and look up PETA Mario. You will find a whole list of them. That's their way of blaming media, saying, oh, video games cause this and make the violence and everything. According to FYI video game statistics, it still shows that the crime has lessened every time video game scales escalated. Every single time a new system came out, a new game came out or anything, the crime in youth actually went down. It wasn't that high. There was no studies or anything showing that kids were going out, going to do anything. It actually was lowering it because every kid was in their house, in the dark, playing a game all night, online with somebody, having a good time. Now, like they said, it gives some aggression because you want to do that to somebody because you know they just did this long thing to you online. It makes you want to punch a person across the room, but you don't actually do it. You're in the safety of your home. You can't go out to anywhere else to find somebody to do that for. Because the time it takes to actually go out your way to kill somebody, you can be still there wasting your time playing some more video games and getting everything off your mind. Because all you have to do, this game's aggravating me. Switch, new game. A game that I can beat and make me feel happy about myself at the end of the day. So I can go home with a smile and say, hey mom, I finally beat the game 15 times. But it doesn't cause total main attention. And like it's and according to another study from Casue, violent video games sales have consulted with the crime of youth. Still, everybody's been trying to prove violent video games is going to make the entire world and all our kids go and hurt the next person towards them. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've played video games for the majority of my life ever since I was growing up. But I never had any aggression. I've never had anything to go or hurt or hit anybody. I've never went and took a gun to shoot somebody. I don't even know how to get a gun right now. But the one thing that actually did have me aggression was how I was raised in my childhood. I was actually abused in my childhood. It sucks to know, that can happen from a family, but that's their way of saying, this is how I'm going to raise you. This is how it's going to work for you. If I don't do this, you won't be successful in life. I didn't see how it was going to be successful beating your child throughout the entire time of his life. 16 years I had to go through it, since I was 5. And my mom always wondered, like, every time, why are you angry with yourself? Why you're doing, why you don't always be in rebellion. It was not because of the video games. It was not because of what I watched or played. It's because of how I was being treated and how my mental minded state was being messed with. So at the same time, it made me want to rash out and do certain things because I felt like my mom actually didn't love me. That is how everything feels. And also, according to 22 charts and graphs online, that most of the charts shows that either abuse of parents and or media is the main cause of violence. It's because of how the family treats them when they raise up. Because when kids grow up and they get abused their entirety of their life, that's what they expect. That's what they think that they should do. They reenact of how they were raised, not what they see on the video game that they play. How they were brought up is how the way they will react. That is where the violence starts. And most parents don't see that. They think they're disciplining their children right. But if you discipline children the wrong way and actually physically abuse them, that would drive the total of violent actions. Parents don't see that. They're just going to blame it on whatever else they can blame it on. They don't see it as themselves. And also, according to another study from violent video games promoted, may be actually beneficial to the brain. Because violent video games can actually improve a lot of things with your brain that you may not have noticed. Also, according to the same study, it is shown that during a certain test where they had students not play video games to study, and students that actually did play violent video games to study, the students that actually played the violent video games had a 27.1 faster reaction when they called their name. They were instant to know what it was. They can easily have faster reaction time because all they're doing is playing this. Their fingers are reacting to what they're doing. That's how fast they move. So it raises with their hand speed too. So when they're in class, usually when they're the first one with the hands up because they know the answer, they'll shoot it up and you're like, how did they get up so fast? From playing video games. They took the time out to play a video game so they can raise themselves up. And as you see here, according to the chart of the 10 causes of youth violence, you see the media is on top: substance abuse, gangs, unemployment, weapons, poverty, peer pressure, broken homes, poor family environment, bad neighborhoods, intolerance, ignorance. And again, you see the media is at the top. And that's what kids actually said. Not parents, adults, this is what kids actually said. So you think, yeah, still video games is at the top, it's media. That's not the case. Have you actually seen the music videos that's been played on the TVs, movies, and everything they've actually seen? What do you see in most music videos now that has, rap in it? Talking about how they're, the best, they're in the hood, they're number one, I came from the bottom and now I'm all the way over here. That's what they use, that's what they see. And so they reenact what they think. They see their favorite pop idol, they think, yeah, I need to be like him. He came from the bottom, now he's all the way up. I'm gonna do the same thing. And they don't even know really that they've already been up at the top. They're just saying that to get more publicity. But they always say the media. They always put video games in the media when that's actually not the case. It's more so that they reenact what their idols and everybody else does. That's the main cause of what media is. And then everything else follows. This is what usually is the 10 cases what youth finds is what cause violence. Another thing according to Keelan Orlando, talking about the data that helps rebuke violent video games that causes shootings, is that he also states that inside it, again, it may raise aggression when they lose, but it doesn't raise the fact that they want to go and shoot somebody. Because they play Call of Duty doesn't mean I'm going to go and go Call of Duty in the airport. That doesn't drive them to go and shoot to the airport. Most gamers don't even feel like wasting their time having to go buy a gun, drive their car all the way out somewhere else to a school or everything to try to shoot up because they're too lazy and they want to finish what they're playing. They'll have more time going out to pre-order the next Call of Duty game and waste their time doing that than they go mess with anybody else in society. But we're to blame for everything. We cause violence because that's how we are. When it's not the case. Video games do not cause violence. In another according study from Michael Gerler, video games don't cause children to be violent, as she's also stated, that children use video games as more of a competitive sport. It's something to them, to where they can play with friends, and they don't use that. They use that little aggression when you see them. They use that aggression not to go and hurt somebody, but to be better, to to actually improve themselves, to actually want to fight the other person more so they can learn how to beat them. And when they finally do it, they come back, ha! In your face! I got it! I won! Mama, look! Mama, look, I won! That's what usually most kids do. But she also does say certain things, they also say certain things that actually happen. Just think about it. It's like, when you see something where the guy kills a cop, pisses on the cop, takes his money, takes his car and drives off, what label do you think they're going to have on there? Do you think they're going to have that E for everyone? That's what the ESRB rating system is still there for. And also, according to Eddie Martins, former FBI profiler, he states that it does not, he states also at the same time, from when he's been in the force, he's seen more cases done due to the fact of abuse and everything else than he did see for video games. Because when he came to the crime scene, he didn't see anything that was driving more towards a video game doing this, a video game doing that, a video game doing this. He's mainly seen a husband and wife doing this, a child that's been messed through his mom doing that, a kid being violent because of the abuse he's going through his home. He's seen everything else, but he's never really came to a common case of video game violence. So as I conclude here today, contrary to popular opinion, these do not make me a killer. None of it does. Video games does not make anybody here a killer. I know at least one of y'all played at least one in your life, and you haven't went out and killed anybody yet. So I ask you today, do video games make you violent? Do they make you want to go kill somebody? Or do they make you just want to relieve your time and just rest? Any questions?
That's my